What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So some new details have surfaced and some sources have told me what actually took place between hip-hop entertainer, mogul, superstar Meek Mills from Philadelphia, and undefeated junior welterweight superstar title contender Gary Antuanne Russell. Gary Antuanne Russell is 16 wins, no losses, no draws. Okay, 16 big wins by way of knockout. Okay, Gary Antuanne Russell is a southpaw. He's that dude. Okay, and Meek Mills, Gary Antuanne Russell is 26 years old, 5'10" with a 70-inch arm reach. Gary Antuanne Russell was with his brothers, superstar boxer, former WBC featherweight world champion, Mr. Gary Russell Jr., and he was also with Gary Antonio Russell, and their eldest brother was also present, right? And they were watching undefeated 3-division world champion, superstar boxer, Gervonta Tank Davis, take on undefeated WBA super featherweight world champion, Dominican star boxer, Hector Garcia. Okay? And also on that card was a close friend of Mr. Gary Russell's and Demetrius Boo Boo Andre. And also a guy, Gary Antonio Russell, has fought multiple times in Philadelphia's own undefeated welterweight superstar title contender, Jerome Boots Ennis. Gary Antuanne Russell, he beat Jerome Boots Ennis in the amateurs. And there's some history there. Boots Ennis is from Philly. Gary Antuanne Russell is from D.C. The Russells in general from D.C. Meek Mills is from Philadelphia. Meek Mills is a close friend of Gervonta Tank Davis. Gary Russell Jr. and Gervonta Tank Davis, let's just say they're not liking each other, okay? There's no love lost there. And Gary Antuanne Russell, he beat Boots in the amateurs. So obviously, Meek Mills, he thinks highly of Jerome Boots Ennis. He thinks highly of Gervonta Tank Davis. And, you know, he had a little bit of the courage juice in him, right? He had his whole team with him, probably more than 15, 20 members with him, right? And so Meek Mills, you know, who's 35 years of age, okay, you know, he started feeling himself, right? He like, listen, Mr. Gary Russell Jr., who was very vocal. Mr. Gary Russell Jr. is very, very vocal, okay, about wanting to fight Gervonta Tank Davis and feeling like he could beat Gervonta Tank Davis, right? And feel like Gervonta Tank Davis is avoiding him, okay? Obviously, also, Gary Antuanne Russell, he believes he could fight and beat Jerome Boots Ennis. He beat him already in the amateurs. So Meek Mills, he started yapping behind him, right? He was sitting behind him. He started yapping behind him. As Gary Russell, Mr. Gary Russell Jr., he was doing Instagram lives. He was doing posts. He was on social media heavy, right? Because this fight is in their city, in D.C. Tank is from the DMV, but he's from Baltimore, right? And there's a rival there. There's a rivalry between Baltimore and D.C. There's also a rivalry between the DMV and Philadelphia, right? And you could throw in New York and New Jersey into this, right? And so Meek Mills, he started yapping, started going off to the point where, see, many people think it was Mr. Gary Russell Jr. because he was the one on social media. He was the one being more vocal. But it was actually Gary Antuanne Russell who had the issue with Meek Mills and was ready to hit him with that southpaw left hand, right? He's a southpaw as well. Ready to take Mr. Meek Mills' lights out, put his lights out, similar to how Gervonta Tank Davis did with Hector Garcia, right? Where he hit him with a punch and on the temple and shut his lights out, where Hector Garcia couldn't see, didn't even know where he was. That was what Gary Antuanne Russell was getting ready to do, right? So Meek Mills, he goes on to say that, you know, he was involved with he missed what took place because he was involved with a fighter right? He was getting ready to fight a fighter, right? Well, it turns out that many people felt that it was Mr. Gary Russell Jr., but indeed, the sources is telling me, and the sources are saying it was actually Gary Antuanne Russell who was getting into it, that Meek Mills and Gary Russell Jr. started, yapping back and forth, but Gary Antuanne Russell was the one that said, listen, you keep talking, and we're going to put your lights out. You understand what I'm saying? They had enough of Meek Mills, okay? And so with that said, Meek Mills was ended up escorted out the arena, to which Meek Mills, he put a post up, and he apologized to Gervonta Tank Davis, said that, I missed it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't able to catch it. Your knockout. I missed the big knockout, the big punch. I missed everything, and I apologize to Gervonta Tank Davis, for missing it. But I almost got I almost got into a fight with a boxer. Yeah, that wouldn't have ended well. Okay, not at all, not in the least bit. Okay, it's just like we saw this situation with Trey Songz and Terence Crawford, right? Where Trey Songz invited Terence Crawford to fight, right? Where he was at 50 Cent's tycoon party, and he invited in Texas, and he invited Terence Crawford to chuck the deuces up, to an altercation, and Terence Crawford, he let him know, don't forget what I do. We can take this war. Sometimes these athletes and what they do gets overlooked. You understand? You wouldn't invite LeBron James to play one-on-one and actually think you could win. You wouldn't invite, to tackle a fullback or a running back out the NFL. You don't think that you could actually cover, Justin Jeffries or Jamar Chase. You understand what I'm saying? You wouldn't challenge Aaron Judge to a home run derby and actually think you can win. There's just some things you wouldn't do, right? So why would you dare challenge a boxer to a fight? Why do you think you can win that? Is it because it's the unwritten rule that boxers' hands are registered so they can't put their hands on a civilian? Is it that? And you just feel safe as an entertainer? Is that what it is? Right? Is it that they don't appear to be as big as you view them as on TV? Right? They're actually small guys in person, especially guys that stay in shape and around their weight class. So they appear not to be very big, right? And they give you the illusion and they give you this misconception that you can actually handle them, right? You see Gary Antuanne Russell, he about 5'10", 140 pounds. He probably weigh about 155 pounds at best right now. You see Mr. Gary Russell Jr., who is about 5'4". He weighs about, probably right now, he probably weighing in about 145 pounds at best. Might be 140 pounds. You see Gary Antonio Russell, he probably weighing about 135, right? And many people, they view these fighters. Even you look at Boots Ennis, 5'10", 147 pounds, not a big guy. Earl Spence, 5'9", weighing in 155 pounds. Terence Crawford, 5'8", probably walking around at 160 pounds at best, right? So you get this false sense that, hey, man, I'm bigger than them. These dudes are little. I'm going to grab them. It's a false sense of reality. Gary Antuanne Russell, Gary Russell Jr., and Gary Antonio Russell will beat the brakes off of Meek Mills. Beat him right out of the designer clothes he was wearing. Right on out of him. Right? You got to respect what these dudes do for a living. You understand? Now it's okay. And see, another thing is, they yap with these dudes, these rappers, entertainers. It's embarrassing, actually. But they yap with these dudes. You know why? Because they look like them. They're not very intimidated by them because they look like them. You understand? Because if this was a known UFC fighter, would Meek Mills have done this? If that was Conor McGregor, do you think that Meek Mills would have felt that he could actually get physical with Conor McGregor? Absolutely not, right? Absolutely not. He wouldn't even went to that extent. He would have showed Conor McGregor all types of respect. But because these are young African-American athletes that look like him, and he got the courage juice in him, and he got probably about 20 dudes with him, he feel like he could disrespect them. Although they're going back and forth, you shouldn't even go back and forth with them. I'm sure Gary Russell Jr., Gary Antuanne Russell, and Gary Antonio Russell, they're not that type of gentleman. They didn't initiate anything with Meek Mills. I'm certain of that. I'm certain of that. Meek Mills feels like Jerron Boots Ennis from Philly could beat Gary Antuanne Russell. Meek Mills feels like Gervonta Tank Davis, who's a close friend of his, could beat Mr. Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell Jr. was talking to his social media. He overheard him. He started yapping, and things escalated to the point where he actually thinks that he could fight. And I was getting ready to fight a boxer. No, you wasn't. No, you wasn't. You wasn't going to do a thing. Not a single thing. Point blank and period. So let's see how everything unfolds moving forward. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue. Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share the videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.